It was a normal Tuesday at Power Gym in London. The place was full of people lifting weights and training. In one corner, a tall man named Derek was showing off. Derek was new to this gym, but acted like he owned it. He had big muscles and an even bigger mouth. "Watch this," Derek yelled as he hit the punching bag hard. 5 men stood around him, nodding and smiling. They were his friends who followed him everywhere. Derek loved when people watched him. "I could knock anyone out in this gym," Derek said loudly. He looked around, hoping others heard him. Some people rolled their eyes. They were tired of Derek's big talk after just 1 week at the gym. On the other side of the gym, a man worked out alone. He was bald and had strong arms. He quietly did his exercises without looking at anyone. This man was Jason Statham, the famous movie star, but he didn't tell anyone who he was. He just wanted to train in peace. Jason came to this gym when he wasn't making movies. He liked this place because people usually left him alone. Today, he was practicing kicks and punches on a heavy bag. His moves were quick and strong. Years of real fighting training showed in every move he made. "Who's that old guy?" Derek asked his friends, pointing at Jason. "He thinks he's tough." Derek laughed loudly. One of Derek's friends looked worried. "I think that's Jason Statham," he whispered. "You know, the action movie star." Derek's eyes got big. Then he smiled. "A movie star? Those guys are fake. They use camera tricks to look tough." The gym owner, Mike, heard Derek talking. Mike knew Jason well. Jason had been coming to his gym for years. Mike walked over to Derek. "That man is a regular here," Mike said quietly. "You should show some respect." But Derek didn't listen. He saw a chance to get attention. If he could make fun of a famous person, everyone would talk about him. "Hey, movie boy," Derek called across the gym. "Those fake moves won't work in real life." People around the gym stopped what they were doing. They looked at Derek, then at Jason. The room got quiet. Jason kept punching the bag, trying to ignore Derek. "I bet I could take him down in 10 seconds," Derek told his friends, but said it loud enough for others to hear. "Those movie stars just pretend to fight." Mike shook his head. "Derek, that's enough. He's just here to work out like everyone else." But Derek wanted attention. He walked across the gym toward Jason. People moved out of his way. Some looked worried. Others seemed interested to see what would happen. "Hey, action hero," Derek called out. "How about a real fight? No cameras, no tricks." Jason finally stopped hitting the bag. He turned slowly and looked at Derek. Jason's face was calm. He didn't look angry or scared. He had dealt with people like Derek many times before. "I'm just here to train," Jason said in his deep voice. "Not looking for trouble." Derek laughed. "Of course not, because you know those movie moves don't work in real life." Jason wiped sweat from his face with a small towel. He didn't say anything. "Come on, just 1 round," Derek pushed. "Unless you're scared." Everyone in the gym was watching now. Some people took out their phones, ready to record what might happen next. Jason put down his towel and looked straight at Derek. "You really want to do this?" he asked calmly. Derek smiled wide. This was exactly what he wanted. "Show me what you got, movie star." The gym went completely quiet. Everyone stopped their workouts to watch. Derek and Jason stood face to face in the middle of the training area. Derek was taller than Jason by a few inches. He smiled with confidence. "Let's move to the mat," Mike the gym owner said. He didn't want this to happen, but if it was going to, he wanted it done safely. People made a circle around the blue mat in the corner. Derek took off his tank top to show his muscles. He flexed his arms for the crowd. Some people clapped, but most just watched quietly. They knew Jason, and they respected him. Jason simply rolled his shoulders and stretched his neck. He stayed calm. He didn't say a word or try to show off. He had been in real fights before, not just movie fights. Rules are simple, Mike said. Clean moves only. When I say stop, you stop. Understand? Both men nodded. Derek bounced on his toes, throwing practice punches in the air. Don't worry, movie star. I'll go easy on you, he said with a laugh. I don't want to mess up that famous face too bad. Jason just stood still. His eyes never left Derek. He looked focused, like a lion watching its prey. Begin when ready, Mike said, stepping back. Derek moved forward right away. He threw a quick jab toward Jason's face. Jason moved his head slightly to the side. The punch missed him by inches. Too slow, Derek taunted. He threw another punch, then another. Jason blocked one and dodged the other without much effort. The crowd watched closely. Some people had their phones out, recording everything. Stop dancing and fight back, Derek shouted. He was getting angry that Jason wasn't attacking. He threw a hard right hook. This time, Jason caught Derek's arm mid-punch. In one smooth move, Jason twisted to the side and used Derek's own weight against him. Before anyone could blink, Derek was flying through the air. Thud! Derek landed hard on his back. The sound echoed through the gym. The fall knocked the wind out of him. He lay there, eyes wide with shock, trying to breathe. Jason hadn't even broken a sweat. He stood calmly, waiting to see if Derek would get up. What just happened? One of Derek's friends asked. No one answered. It had happened so fast that some people missed it. Derek rolled to his side, gasping for air. His face turned red, not from pain, but from shame. Everyone was looking at him. That's what we call a hip throw, Mike explained to the crowd. Jason didn't even use full force. Slowly, Derek got to his feet. He was angry now, embarrassed in front of everyone. Lucky move, he growled. Let's go again. Jason shook his head. We don't need to continue. But Derek wouldn't listen. He rushed at Jason with a yell, trying to tackle him to the ground. Jason sidestepped smoothly. As Derek passed by, Jason gently placed his foot in Derek's path. Derek tripped and fell face first onto the mat. The crowd gasped. Some people couldn't help but laugh. That's twice now, Jason said quietly. Want to try for 3? Derek jumped up, his face red with anger. You think you're so tough. Those are just tricks. No tricks, Jason replied. Just years of training. Real training, not just for show. Mike stepped between them. That's enough. Derek, cool down. But Derek pushed Mike aside. One more round, he demanded. For real this time. Jason sighed. He didn't want to hurt Derek, but the man wasn't learning his lesson. Fine, Jason said. One more. The crowd moved in closer. They knew this would be the final round. Some felt bad for Derek. He had no idea what he was up against. Jason Statham wasn't just an actor. Before movies, he had been a competitive diver and had trained in various fighting styles for years. Derek put up his fists, ready for round 3. Jason simply stood there, hands at his sides, waiting. Derek charged at Jason like an angry bull. His face was red, and his eyes were full of anger. He wanted to win badly now. Everyone was watching, and he couldn't lose to a movie star. Jason stood calmly, hands still at his sides. He didn't seem worried at all. As Derek got close, Jason finally moved. He stepped to the side very quickly, faster than most people could see. Derek's punch hit nothing but air. He stumbled forward, off balance. Before he could turn around, Jason placed one hand on Derek's back and pushed gently. It wasn't a hard push, but it was perfectly timed. Derek fell forward and landed on his hands and knees. Stay down, Jason said quietly. This doesn't need to go on. But Derek wouldn't listen. His pride was hurt more than his body. He jumped up and spun around, facing Jason again. Stop dancing around and fight me, Derek shouted. Some people in the crowd looked uncomfortable. They could see that Derek was no match for Jason. "I'm not here to fight," Jason replied. "You wanted to see if movie fighting was real. Now you know." This made Derek even angrier. He threw a wild punch at Jason's head. Jason blocked it easily with his forearm. Then, faster than anyone could follow, Jason threw his first real punch of the fight. It was quick and precise, landing softly on Derek's shoulder. "That's a pressure point," Jason explained. "If I hit it hard, your arm would go numb." Derek looked confused. He hadn't expected Jason to teach him during their fight. He threw another punch with his other hand. Again, Jason blocked and tapped another spot on Derek's body. "Liver shot. This would drop you if I put power behind it." Now the crowd understood what was happening. Jason wasn't trying to beat Derek up. He was giving him a lesson. Some people nodded with respect. This was more impressive than any knockout would have been. Derek didn't see it that way. He was getting more frustrated with each failed attack. He tried to grab Jason in a bear hug. For the first time, Jason looked slightly annoyed. As Derek's arms came around him, Jason dropped his weight low and twisted. Derek found himself flying through the air again. This time, when Derek hit the mat, Jason didn't let him get up. He held Derek's arm in a gentle but firm lock. Derek couldn't move without hurting himself. "The fight is over," Jason said calmly. "Do you agree?" Derek struggled for a moment, then realized he was stuck. Slowly, he nodded his head. Jason released him and stood up. He offered his hand to help Derek up. At first, Derek just stared at the hand. The gym was silent. Everyone waited to see what Derek would do. Finally, Derek took Jason's hand and got to his feet. His face was still red, but the anger was gone. Now he just looked embarrassed. "How did you do that?" Derek asked quietly. "Years of practice," Jason answered. "Real fighting isn't about showing off. It's about control, balance, and timing." Mike, the gym owner, stepped forward. "All right, show's over. Everyone back to your workouts." The crowd began to break up. Some people patted Jason on the back as they walked away. Others just nodded with respect. Derek's friends stood awkwardly to the side, not sure what to say. "Sorry," Derek finally said to Jason. "I was being stupid." Jason shrugged. "We all make mistakes. The important thing is learning from them." One of Derek's friends came over. "Dude, do you know who that really is?" "That's Jason Statham. He's been training in martial arts for decades. Before movies, he was even on Britain's national diving team." Derek's eyes went wide. "Wait, you're that Jason Statham from the Transporter movies?" Jason smiled for the first time since the whole thing started. "Yeah, that's me. But here, I'm just another guy trying to get a workout in." Derek looked down at his feet. He felt even more foolish now. Can I start over? Maybe get some tips sometime." Jason looked at Derek for a moment. He could see the man was truly sorry. "Sure," Jason said. "Everyone deserves a second chance." Mike, the gym owner, brought them both towels and water bottles. "That was quite a show," he said. "But next time, maybe just ask for an autograph." People in the gym went back to their workouts, but many kept looking over at Jason and Derek. It wasn't every day they saw a famous action star take down a big talking fighter. "I can't believe I challenged Jason Statham," Derek said to his friends. "I feel so stupid now." One of his friends laughed. "Yeah, that wasn't your brightest idea. But hey, at least you got to train with him." Jason sat on a bench, drinking water. He didn't seem upset about what had happened. He was used to people challenging him. In his years as an actor, many people had wanted to test if he could really fight. Derek walked over to Jason's bench and sat down nearby. He seemed nervous. "So those moves in your movies, they're real?" Jason smiled. "Some are real, some are for show. Movies need to look good on camera. Real fighting is usually shorter and less fancy. Like what just happened to me," Derek said with a small laugh. "Exactly," Jason nodded. A real fight often ends in seconds. No time for big speeches or special moves. Derek was quiet for a moment. Then he asked, "How long have you been training?" "Since I was a kid," Jason replied. "Started with diving, which teaches you body control. Then boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, a bit of everything over the years." As they talked, more gym members gathered around. Everyone wanted to hear Jason's story. He didn't tell many people, but today he felt like sharing. "Before movies, I worked at markets selling jewelry," Jason told them. "Rough places sometimes. You had to know how to handle yourself." "Is that where you learned to fight?" someone asked. Jason shook his head. "I learned properly with good teachers. Street fighting is dangerous and often stupid." He looked at Derek when he said this. Derek nodded, understanding the message. "So how did you get into movies?" "Long story short, I was spotted by a talent scout who needed someone who could do their own stunts," Jason explained. "Right place, right time." Mike brought over a protein shake for Jason. "He's being modest," Mike told the group. Jason was a champion diver for Great Britain, competed in the Commonwealth Games and everything. People looked impressed. Even Derek's eyes went wide. "Wait, you were an Olympic athlete too." "Commonwealth Games, not Olympics," Jason corrected. "But yes, competitive diving at a high level. That's where I got my discipline." One of the younger gym members stepped forward. "Can you show us some moves? The real ones, not movie stuff." Jason thought about it. He usually kept to himself during workouts, but today was already different. "All right," he said, standing up. "Let's go to the mat. I'll show you a few basics." Everyone followed Jason to the training area. Even Derek looked excited now. This was better than getting an autograph. "First rule of real fighting," Jason said to the group. "Avoid it if you can. Walk away when possible." Some people looked disappointed. They wanted to see cool moves, but Jason was serious. "Second rule, if you can't walk away, end it quickly and safely." Jason asked for a volunteer. No one stepped forward at first. Then, surprising everyone, Derek raised his hand. "I'll help," Derek said. "I think I owe you that much." Jason nodded. "Good man. Come on up." Derek joined Jason on the mat. This time, there was no anger or showing off. He was ready to learn. "I'll show you the throw that put you down first," Jason said. "It's all about using someone's weight against them." The gym members watched closely as Jason slowly demonstrated the move, explaining each step. Derek paid more attention than anyone. For the next hour, Jason taught the group some basic self-defense moves. He was a good teacher. He spoke clearly and showed each move slowly first, then at normal speed. Everyone watched with interest, especially Derek. "The key is balance," Jason explained. "If you can make someone lose their balance, you already won half the fight." He showed them how to stand properly, how to block simple punches, and how to fall safely. When someone made a mistake, Jason didn't get angry. He just showed them again with patience. "This is amazing," one of the gym members said. "It's like getting a private lesson from Jason Statham." Jason smiled. "Just sharing what I know. I had good teachers who helped me." Derek was trying harder than anyone else. He wanted to prove he wasn't just a big talker. When Jason showed a blocking move, Derek practiced it over and over until he got it right. "Good," Jason told him. "You're a quick learner when you focus." Derek looked proud. "Thanks. This is way better than showing off." After the lesson, people started taking pictures with Jason. He was friendly and took time with everyone. Some asked for autographs, which he signed on gym towels, water bottles, or whatever people had. Derek stood back, feeling shy now. He didn't think he deserved a picture after how he had acted. But Jason saw him waiting and waved him over. "Come on," Jason said. "Let's get a picture together." Derek couldn't believe it. "Really? After I was such a jerk?" "Water under the bridge," Jason said. "You learned something today. That's what matters. Derek's friend took a picture of them together. In the photo, Jason had his arm around Derek's shoulder. Both men were smiling. It was hard to believe they had been fighting just an hour ago. Mike, the gym owner, watched everything with a smile. "This is good for business," he told his staff. "Everyone will want to train here now." As the excitement died down, Jason checked his watch. "I need to get going," he said. "Film shoot tomorrow morning." "What movie are you working on?" someone asked. "Can't talk about it yet," Jason replied. "But it's a good one." People started leaving the training area. Many thanked Jason for the lesson. Derek helped clean up the mats, picking up towels and water bottles. "Hey," Derek said to Jason as he was getting ready to leave. "I'm really sorry about earlier. I was trying to show off, and I picked the wrong person." Jason put his gym bag over his shoulder. "We all make mistakes. The real test is what we learn from them." "I learned a lot today," Derek said honestly. "Not just about fighting, but about being a better person." Jason nodded. "That's the most important lesson." He held out his hand, and Derek shook it firmly. "Will you come back to this gym?" Derek asked. "Of course," Jason said. "It's my regular spot when I'm in London." Derek smiled. "Then maybe I can get more lessons." "We'll see," Jason said with a small smile. "Just don't challenge any other movie stars without checking who they are first." They both laughed. As Jason walked toward the door, people moved aside respectfully. He didn't act like a big star. He just nodded goodbye to everyone like a regular gym member. Outside, a black car was waiting for Jason. The driver opened the door for him. Before getting in, Jason looked back at the gym. Through the window, he could see Derek showing one of the blocking moves to his friends. Jason smiled to himself. Sometimes lessons come in unexpected ways. As the car drove away, people inside the gym were already telling the story to new members who had just arrived. "You missed it," they said. "Jason Statham just taught a class after taking down a guy who challenged him." The story was already becoming bigger than what really happened. But that's how legends begin. The next day, Derek woke up early. His body was sore from yesterday's training, but he felt good inside. Meeting Jason Statham had changed something in him. He looked at the photo on his phone and still couldn't believe what had happened. Derek arrived at the gym earlier than usual. Mike, the owner, was surprised to see him. "You're here early," Mike said. "I thought you might take a day off after yesterday." Derek shook his head. "No way. I want to practice what Jason taught us." Mike smiled. "Good for you. The training area is free right now." Derek spent an hour practicing the moves Jason had shown them. He was careful and focused. No showing off, no loud talking. Just quiet practice. A few other gym members joined him later. "Can you show us that blocking move again?" one of them asked Derek. For the first time, Derek felt like a teacher instead of a show-off. He slowly demonstrated the move that Jason had taught him. "It's all about timing," he explained, repeating Jason's words. Meanwhile, across London, Jason was on a movie set. He was filming an action scene where he had to fight 3 bad guys at once. Between takes, one of the crew members approached him. "Hey Jason, is it true you took down some big guy at a gym yesterday?" the crew member asked. Jason looked surprised. News travels fast. It wasn't a big deal, but it was a big deal to others. The story was spreading quickly. Someone at the gym had recorded part of the lesson Jason gave, not the fight itself. The video was now online, showing Jason teaching self-defense to a group at the gym. By lunchtime, the video had thousands of views. People commented things like, "Jason Statham is the real deal," and "he's just as cool in real life as in the movies." Back at the gym, Derek was becoming something of a celebrity himself. People kept asking him about Jason. What was it like to train with him? Did it hurt when he threw you? Are you going to be in his next movie? Derek answered honestly. "He's a good teacher, very patient. And no, I'm not going to be in any movies. I'm just glad I learned something. Mike watched Derek with approval. The young man had changed overnight. Yesterday he was all talk and showing off. Today he was humble and helpful. In the afternoon, something unexpected happened. A man in a suit walked into the gym and asked for Derek. He worked for a security company. "We saw the video of you training with Jason Statham," the man said. "We're looking for people who want to learn proper security work. Would you be interested in taking some classes?" Derek couldn't believe it. "Me? But I got beaten in that fight." The man smiled. "Yes, but we saw how you handled yourself afterward. You showed good character. That's important in security work." Derek thought about it. Until yesterday, he had no real plans for his future. He just wanted to look tough and impress people. Now someone was offering him a chance at a real career. "I'd like that," Derek said. "When do classes start?" "Next week," the man replied, handing Derek a card. "Here's the information." After the man left, Derek sat on a bench, looking at the card. His life had changed in just one day. All because he picked the wrong person to challenge. Mike sat next to him. "Everything okay?" Derek nodded. "Yeah. I just got offered security training because of what happened with Jason." Mike laughed. "See, sometimes losing a fight is the best thing that can happen to you." Derek smiled. It wasn't really losing. It was learning. On the other side of London, Jason finished filming for the day. He checked his phone and saw messages about the training video going viral. He also had a text from Mike. "You changed a young man's life yesterday." Derek got offered security training. "Thanks for being a good example." Jason smiled as he read the message. In his years as an actor, he had played many tough characters who fought bad guys and saved the day. But sometimes, real-life heroes don't use their skills to hurt people. They use them to teach and inspire. 1 week later, Derek started his security training. The classes were tough, but he worked hard. He remembered what Jason had taught him about focus and discipline. When things got difficult, Derek thought about that day at the gym and kept going. The training center was big and serious. Men and women in black uniforms taught classes on self-defense, crowd control, and safety rules. Derek paid close attention to everything. He was no longer trying to be the loudest or the strongest. He wanted to be the best student. "You're doing well," his instructor told him after a hard training session. "Much better than most beginners." Derek smiled. "I had a good first lesson from someone who knows what they're doing." In his free time, Derek still went to Mike's gym. But he was different now. He helped new members and gave advice when asked. He never bragged or showed off. The other gym members noticed the change. "What happened to the old Derek?" one of them asked Mike. Mike laughed. "Jason Statham happened to him." The video of Jason teaching at the gym now had over 1 million views online. News websites wrote stories about it. One headline read, "Action star shows he's the real deal. Jason Statham teaches self-defense after gym challenge." Jason himself didn't say much about it in public. When reporters asked him about the video during a movie interview, he just smiled and said, "I enjoy sharing what I've learned over the years." 3 weeks after the famous gym day, Derek was training at Mike's gym when someone tapped him on the shoulder. He turned around and was shocked to see Jason standing there. "Jason, you're back," Derek said with surprise. Jason nodded. "Just finished filming. Thought I'd get a workout in." He looked at Derek. "Mike tells me you're doing security training now." Derek stood a little straighter. "Yes, sir. 3 weeks in. It's tough but good." "How's it going?" Jason asked as he put his gym bag down. "Really well," Derek said. "They even use your video in one of our classes as an example of proper technique." Jason laughed. "Is that right? Well, glad it was helpful." They talked for a few minutes about Derek's training. Other gym members watched from a distance, amazed to see them chatting like old friends. "Actually," Jason said, "I'm working on a new film next month. We need some extra security people on set. Nothing fancy, just crowd control and watching equipment. Interested. Derek couldn't believe his ears. Are you serious? Me, working on your movie set? Why not? Jason said. You're getting the proper training, and I know you can handle yourself in tough situations. He smiled at the reference to their first meeting. Derek took a deep breath. I would be honored. Thank you. Don't thank me yet, Jason warned. Film sets mean long hours and hard work. Not as glamorous as people think. I don't mind hard work, Derek said. I'm not the same guy you met a month ago. Jason nodded. I can see that. Talk to Mike. He has the details. As Jason walked away to start his workout, Derek stood there, still processing what had just happened. From challenging Jason Statham to a fight, to now being offered a job on his movie set, life had taken a strange and wonderful turn. Mike came over, smiling. I see Jason told you about the job. You knew? Derek asked. He called me yesterday, Mike explained. Wanted to know if you were serious about the security work or if it was just a passing interest. I told him you were the hardest working person in your class. Derek felt proud. Coming from Mike, that was a big compliment. So, Mike continued, ready for your first film job? Derek nodded. Ready as I'll ever be. Across the gym, Jason watched them talking. He smiled to himself. Sometimes life gives people second chances in unexpected ways. A month ago, Derek was just a loud guy looking for attention. Now he was on a new path. All because of one humbling moment on a gym mat. 2 weeks later, Derek stood outside a big warehouse in East London. This was his first day on the movie set. He wore a black shirt with security written on the back. He felt nervous but excited. A woman with a clipboard approached him. You must be Derek, she said. I'm Sarah, the production assistant. Jason told me to expect you. Derek nodded. Yes, that's me. First day on the job. Sarah smiled. Don't worry, just follow Tony's lead. She pointed to an older man who was also wearing a security shirt. He's been doing this for years. Tony walked over and shook Derek's hand. So you're the guy who challenged Jason to a fight. His eyes were friendly. Derek felt his face turn red. Not my proudest moment. Tony laughed. Don't worry about it. Jason told me the whole story. Said you learned quick and showed character. That's why you're here. Inside the warehouse, the movie set was busy with people. Lights, cameras, and equipment were everywhere. Derek had never seen anything like it. Everything seemed chaotic, but somehow organized. Your job is simple, Tony explained. Watch this equipment area. Make sure no one touches anything without permission. Ask for ID if you don't recognize them. Derek nodded. Got it. For the first few hours, Derek stood by the equipment, watching everything with interest. He saw makeup artists working on actors. He saw camera operators setting up shots. It was a whole new world. Then Jason arrived on set. Everyone became more focused. Jason nodded at Derek as he walked past. Good to see you made it, he said with a quick smile. Wouldn't miss it, Derek replied. Throughout the day, Derek watched Jason film several fight scenes. It was amazing to see how different movie fighting was from real fighting. They filmed the same punch 10 times from different angles. Each time, Jason made it look real without actually hitting the other actor. During a break, Jason walked over to where Derek was standing. How's your first day going? He asked. It's incredible, Derek said honestly. I had no idea how much work goes into making a fight scene look real. Jason took a drink from his water bottle. That's the magic of movies. What looks quick and easy on screen takes hours to get right. Derek thought about their gym fight. In real life, our whole fight was over in seconds. Exactly, Jason nodded. Real fights aren't pretty or long. That's why we have to make them look better for the movies. A crew member called for Jason to return to set. Before leaving, Jason patted Derek on the shoulder. Keep up the good work. Tony says you're doing well. As the day went on, Derek helped move equipment, watched for people who didn't belong on set, and even got to be a stand-in for a brief moment when they were setting up lights. It was hard work, but exciting. At lunchtime, Derek sat with other crew members in the catering area. People were friendly and full of stories. One camera operator had worked on big movies all over the world. A stunt woman told funny stories about dangerous jumps she had done. "So you're the gym guy," one of the crew said to Derek. "The one from the video with Jason." "That's me," Derek admitted. "Not how I planned to get famous." Everyone laughed. "That's how life works sometimes," the stunt woman said. "The best opportunities come from unexpected places." By the end of the day, Derek was tired but happy. As he was leaving, Tony handed him a schedule. "See you tomorrow, kid. You did good today." Derek looked at the schedule. He was booked for the entire 3 weeks of filming. Walking to his car, he couldn't help smiling. A month ago, he was just a guy trying to look tough in a gym. Now he was working on a movie set with Jason Statham. As he drove home, Derek thought about how one bad decision had somehow led to the best opportunity of his life. He had learned an important lesson. Real strength isn't about looking tough or talking big. It's about how you handle yourself when things don't go your way. 3 weeks later, the movie finished filming. It was the last day on set, and everyone was celebrating. There was cake and drinks in the catering area. People took pictures together and shared phone numbers to stay in touch. Derek stood by the security desk, watching the celebration. The past 3 weeks had been the hardest work of his life. Long days, sometimes starting before sunrise and ending after sunset. But he had loved every minute of it. "There you are," Tony said, walking up to Derek. "Come join the party. You're part of the crew now." Derek smiled and followed Tony to the celebration area. Many people greeted him by name. In just 3 weeks, he had become friends with camera operators, sound technicians, makeup artists, and stunt performers. They all treated him with respect. "Hey, Derek," called Sarah, the production assistant. "We got you something." She handed him a small box. Derek opened it and found a crew jacket with the movie's name on it and his name stitched on the front. Everyone from the main crew got one at the end of filming. "But I'm just security," Derek said, surprised. "Not just security," Sarah corrected him. "Your crew. You helped us catch that guy trying to steal equipment last week, and you stepped in as an extra when we needed someone." Derek put on the jacket. It fit perfectly. He felt proud to wear it. Across the room, Jason was talking with the director. When he saw Derek in his new jacket, he excused himself and walked over. "Looks good on you," Jason said, pointing to the jacket. "Thanks," Derek replied, "for everything. These 3 weeks have been amazing." Jason nodded. "Tony tells me you're a natural at this. Quick learner, good with people, stays calm under pressure." "I had a good teacher," Derek said. "That day at the gym changed my life." Jason smiled. Life gives us moments that can change everything. The trick is recognizing them when they happen. The director called for everyone's attention. He gave a short speech thanking the crew for their hard work. Then he asked Jason to say a few words. Jason stepped forward. "Movies aren't made by one person," he said. "They're made by teams working together. Everyone from the director to the newest crew member matters." He looked at Derek when he said this last part. After the speeches, people started leaving. Some were going to an after-party at a nearby restaurant. Others were heading home to their families after the long job. Derek was picking up his things when Tony approached him again. "So, what's next for you?" Tony asked. "Back to security training, I guess," Derek said. "My classes finish in 2 months." Tony handed Derek a card. "Call this number when you're done with training. It's for the security company that works on most big films in London. Tell them I sent you." Derek took the card, surprised again. "Why are you helping me?" "Because everyone deserves a second chance," Tony said. "And because you're good at this. The film world needs reliable people." As Derek was leaving, Jason stopped him by the door. "One last thing," he said. Mike told me you've been helping new people at the gym, teaching them what you learned. Derek nodded, just trying to pass on what you taught me. That's how it works, Jason said. We learn, we grow, we teach others. He held out his hand. See you around, Derek. They shook hands as equals, no longer the famous actor and the gym troublemaker, but two professionals with mutual respect. Outside, Derek looked back at the warehouse where he had spent the last 3 weeks. His life had changed completely since that day he had challenged Jason Statham. What began as a moment of embarrassment had led to new friends, new skills, and a whole new career path. As he drove away, Derek thought about all the new gym members he would help train next week. He would tell them his story, not to brag, but to teach them what he had learned the hard way. True strength isn't about defeating others. It's about improving yourself and helping others improve too. Sometimes the best lessons come when you're flat on your back, looking up at someone who could have been an enemy, but instead became a teacher.